The last moment of Beth's life was of her showing kindness. In return, she was met with deception and evil, a senseless act of violence. A dream shattered, parents in mourning, a community in shock. Suny classes suspended. A usually close-knit community in Putnam County is where Beth grew up with her 3 siblings.
She played the cello. She was walking home from a class at school, and I don't think I have words to express how sad everybody is.
Well, everybody's in shock, understandably.
Everyone knew Beth and her passion for music. District Attorney Gary revealed that Michael Snow, her murderer, repaid Howell's kindness with 3 shots from a .22 caliber ghost gun he says he purchased online. Ghost guns are a growing weapon of choice as they are untraceable and unregulated. Anyone, even a minor, can purchase them. The gun that killed Elisabeth was never recovered. However, police were able to find the shooter as soon as the next day by way of surveillance footage. Elisabeth Howell, age 21, was a stellar student of the Crane School of Music at Suny Potsdam, New York. Beth was a gifted cellist and an aspiring music teacher who was beloved by all who knew her. She had performed with the Crane Symphony Orchestra. Beth had her heart set on becoming a music educator. She was on the verge of a postgraduate job with her local school district. Everything was going on track until she randomly became a target of a man's revenge plot he had going on for years. Sometime around 6 p.m., while walking on a road near the music school on February 18, 2022, a man passing by in a vehicle beckoned for Beth's help. He was asking for directions. As she tried to assist him, he fired 3 shots at her. She managed to run off but collapsed not too far away. When authorities arrived, Beth was lying on the side of College Park Road. She was unconscious and suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Beth was rushed to the Canton Potsdam Hospital, where she was pronounced dead just before 7 p.m. Not knowing the motive or intent of the killer, and perhaps the sheer randomness of the act of violence, the police had initially urged the local community to keep their doors locked and travel in groups. They later amended those precautions when they realized the shooting appeared to be an isolated incident. Police connected Michael Snow to the shooting through surveillance video. On the day of the homicide, Snow was observed on video footage operating a gray Honda Civic bearing NY registration KVE 2731. On a closer look, it could be seen that the vehicle had damage to the driver's side door. Police tracked the vehicle as it was driven through Potsdam, Hopkinton, Malone, Westville, Hogansburg, and Messina. In seeking the public's help, authorities released the footage. The alleged shooter, Michael J. Snow, 31, was arrested the following day after the incident. To capture the suspect, neighbors spoke about the dramatic police raid, which included what they presume were flashbangs and loud banging noise and a grand entry with a yell, state police search warrant.
The police announced that they were state police and that they had a search warrant, and then it sounded like a couple of flashbangs that went off, and it was a pretty scary thing.
It was later learned that the door to the apartment was badly damaged in the process. Police found 100 spent miniature nitrous oxide canisters. When emptied in a balloon and huffed can cause audio hallucinations. They also found unopened canisters as well. Snow's landlord remembers the morning of February 18th. He described Snow as high as a kite when he had to help him pull his car out of the snowbank twice in 5 minutes. At that point, he bore witness to the damage on the driver's side door. Snow was living in a rundown apartment in a building on Main Street, Messina, with a handful of other people. He moved there after mysteriously losing his mom in 2019. Before moving, while still living at his mom's residence, he then had a roommate who also died the following year. It was suspected that drugs played a part in the roommate's death. Snow was taken into custody. He was charged with second-degree murder. On March 22nd, a grand jury indicted him on counts of second-degree murder, first-degree manslaughter, first-degree assault, and first-degree criminal use of a firearm. After his arraignment in St. Lawrence County Court on April 22, 2022, Snow pleaded not guilty to all charges. He was remanded without bail. With a search of the Honda, authorities recovered 5.22 caliber shell casings from Snow's car in the days after the shooting. The shell casing was a match to the bullets recovered from Beth's body, but the murder weapon was not found. At that point, it was unclear if Snow and Howell knew each other. It took some time for authorities to find a motive, but friends and family of the victim say it seems to have been a random attack. In a blink of an eye, her life, her dreams, her bright future was gone. Her parents say she was at the wrong place, wrong time. She had no enemies, they said. As Beth matured in her teenage years, she spent most of her time caring for others and giving back. The parents described their daughter as a very active member of her community. She was a leader who served as commander of our NJROTC unit. That's the National Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps. She taught swimming and trained and supervised lifeguards. With passion and love, she did cello while also dancing ballet and performing in orchestras. Her parents had to wait a while, as it took some time for the motive of the shooting to be revealed. Snow was set to go on trial on August 21st of that year. He requested to represent himself at trial. However, an agreement was reached between the defendant and the court. Snow had a right to plead to the entire indictment, and he did just that. He pleaded guilty. The court was willing to commit to 22 to life. Without any trial, all eyes were looking towards the sentencing in late July. Gary Pasqua, the district attorney, revealed damning details about Snow's plan to kill someone, a plot that began more than 2 years ago.
He had set in motion a plan to do that dating back 2 years prior to this attack. When that plan was thwarted in some sense, and he didn't believe that would be successful, he then changed that to an attack concentrated at a location, and that was Suny Potsdam.
His plan to kill someone was not spontaneous, he said. Snow had attempted more than once to purchase an AR-15 rifle, but was been denied. The murder plot stemmed from the anger he felt over the loss of a family member, as well as co-workers whom he believed were at fault for him losing his job. He would instead take revenge on his former co-worker's employer, which was the Suny Potsdam administration. He planned to hurt their reputation with an act of violence. On February 18th, 2022, he put that plan into action. She was simply walking home when Snow beckoned her over to his vehicle under the guise that he needed directions. He shot her 3 times, Pasqua said. Although the murder was planned, the victim was chosen at random. Pasqua says Snow claimed he used a ghost gun he got online to shoot and kill Howell. Snow himself described Howell as helpful and pleasant in the moments before he shot her, according to Pasqua. He says Snow has failed to show remorse for his actions. He detailed further how Snow's father lawfully owns multiple long guns, as well as handguns, which could pose a substantial risk to public safety if Snow were to be released. Snow also took the chance to speak at the sentencing.
I would like to extend my sincerest apologies to everybody impacted by my actions, especially to the family of Elisabeth.
He said he regretted his actions and offered an apology to the family, but those in attendance did not appear convinced by or concerned with his statement. Pasqua went on to read the impact statement submitted by the family. Judge Craig P. Carriero did not know Howell, but was touched by her as he read through the impact statements. He said that he believed she would have been the kind of teacher who would help talented musicians flourish, while also ensuring those without such natural gifts could be drawn into and touched by music. The killing of Beth Howell was cold, random, and senseless, he said. The judge had said that in 2 decades on the bench, Snow's case was the worst. Michael Snow was sentenced to 22 years with the possibility of parole. The parole aspect didn't sit well with Elisabeth Howell's family, the judge, or the district attorney. The district attorney vowed to do his best to convince the parole board that Snow should remain incarcerated for the rest of his life, whether as a private citizen or district attorney in the next 2 decades. Howell was set to graduate with honors in May 2022. Following her death, Suny Potsdam posthumously awarded her degree and presented it to her family in her stead at commencement.